Hi there, Rich Leiter. I'm going to read to you a poem now from the collection I just published. My pain is greater than your pain. My laughter greater than your laughter. This is entitled, Well, Somebody's Got to Say It, so why not yours truly? The human species is a reprehensible, ludicrously botched evolutionary experiment. It is an extremely dangerous and stupid breed, which has shown itself time and time again to be incapable of even a glimmer of that which would indicate burgeoning intelligence. If anybody who is reading this or listening to this doubts the veracity of what I am saying, then I would strongly recommend the following. 1. If you're one of my younger readers who hasn't been around for, 50 years, 45 if you're a quick study, then by all means, continue to stick around until you have reached the aforementioned age threshold. And then, when you have successfully reached it, simply reread this composition. 2. Now, if you are one of my older, supposedly wiser readers who has been locked up in this insane asylum called the Earth for at least a half a century, and if you still object to the opening lines and to the initial premise of this composition, don't just walk. Run like hell to your nearest local psychotherapist or to your nearest local psychopharmacologist and seek immediate treatment for your cognitive dissonance. On second thought, don't run like hell to your nearest local psychotherapist or to your nearest local psychopharmacologist, because the chances are that said illustrious mental health professional will be just as crazy as you are and just as cognitively dissonant. So instead, just do this. Take your Labrador Retriever out for a nice little walk in the park, will you? Let him run around for a while with all of the other Labrador Retrievers in that chain link fenced off section of the park, which is specifically reserved for man's best friend to run around in. I mean, just because you have a skull which is as thick as the Hoover Dam doesn't mean that your dog has to suffer for it. Or, if you don't happen to have a Labrador Retriever or any other type of canine for a pet, then just take yourself out for a nice little walk in the park. Observe the grass as you stroll through it. Observe the trees. Observe the sky. What color is the sky? What type of a blue is it? Is it cobalt blue? Is it phthalo blue? Is it Prussian blue? Is it ultramarine blue? Manganese blue? Cerulean blue? Cerulean blue is like my favorite blue. And have you ever noticed how it's not so much the sunny days as it is the cloudy ones, which really seem to bring out the luster of nature? The grass always seems to be somehow greener on such cloudy days, as do the leaves of the trees, as does the foliage in general. And the tree bark is also weird. It will play tricks on your eyes. It will toy with your retinas. If the tree bark is brown, for instance, then it will appear to be somehow browner. And if the tree bark is black, then it will appear to be somehow blacker. Even though that doesn't make any sense, because black is black, right? So how can it be any blacker? But anyway, getting back to what I was just saying about taking your dog out for a walk in the park, I'm just saying that this is another option for those of you who don't have any pets, i.e., the option of taking yourself out for a walk in the park and pretending that you yourself are the dog. Believe me, you could do worse. You could do a lot worse than be a dog on this planet. The point is, do something. Do something that makes you feel good, that helps you to pass the time while the storm is upon you. And then, after you have, using either or both of the above methods, or some other method, that's also perfectly fine and dandy. Just reread my poem. Reread my poem slowly. Slowly, God damn it. In other words, not quickly. Every month or two, like a Tibetan mantra, throughout the remaining years of your befuddled existences, until you have finally, thankfully, come to your senses. Now, I realize that this must sound terribly arrogant, insulting even, although it really isn't. As a matter of fact, just the opposite is the case. I'm simply being extremely direct with you because the situation is so insanely dire, and because nobody else seems to be particularly interested in stating that which is so painfully obvious. You actually have to read my poetry, my second-rate, shitty poetry, in order for you to come to your senses. God help us. God help every one of us. Just in case you're listening, God, now would be the time, God.